in its current state will not be the same in the future.
Okay.
What the future holds for Taft is unclear at this time. No decision has been made, but we know that Taft will have to be redeveloped, whether it's on the Taft site or whether it's on a different site.
Good evening and welcome to Captions. I'm Lamar Anderson, and tonight we're going to be talking about home improvement. I have Ms. Cheryl Boswell, the Executive Director of METEC, and Mr. Fred Stewart, Housing Counselor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You're more than welcome. We're going to talk about a few different things on tonight's show in regards to home improvement. But first and foremost, if you could, Ms. Boswell, tell us a little bit about the organization of METEC. What is METEC?
Sure. METEC was established in 2001. METEC stands for, although it is our legal corporate name, METEC stands for Mount Zion's effort to equip the community. Our mission is to provide the tools and resources that improves a person's financial well-being. And we have several programs and services that help make that happen. We also provide services in our programs in 7 counties around Peoria. So growing a little bit.
Okay. So in regards to METEC, could you all tell us a little bit about yourselves as well? Because we may have some people out there who don't know all the different things that you all bring to the table. So could you just tell us a little bit about who you are?
Sure. Again, I'm Cheryl Boswell. I am the Executive Director, and Fred's position has changed, so I'll let him announce that. But some of the things that we do, a lot of things that we do focuses on education and financial literacy. We have down payment assistance programs that also will provide down payment assistance anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 to help those first-time home buyers purchase their first home. We believe, and I think a lot of banks also believe, that the educated borrower is going to be the best borrower. It's going to remove some of the risk that's involved with purchasing a home. So we have a lot of education programs that focuses on that. We have put some of our home buying education training online. It's through a program called eHome America. And people that are interested in buying a home can take that class online. It is available 24/7. It's in Spanish and English.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one thing that we do. The down payment assistance, I think I hit on that a little bit, is key. It has been instrumental in helping individuals come up with some of the resources for their down payment. We know that there are 2 barriers that prevent individuals from buying a home.
Okay.
Usually it's credit, and usually it's the resources in terms of down payment.
Okay.
We are very good, I think, and Fred has been there, helping us provide the credit and providing those resources that are going to help them improve their credit scores. And then the down payment funds that we've gotten through a couple banks, Federal Home Loan Bank, and through IDA, Illinois Housing Development Authority, have been very useful in helping individuals attain that goal of home ownership.
Oh, okay. And you, Mr. Stewart?
Again, I'm Fred Stewart. I'm recently been promoted to program manager at METEC.
Let's give him a round of applause for that.
And again, like you said, along with the down payment, one of the things that has been on the rise is individuals obtaining their credit history and making plans to correct it. And we have a wonderful program in place that assists with that. That's definitely been on the rise.
So why do you think a program like METEC had to be started here in the Peoria area? What was the driving force for a program like METEC?
Well, the driving force probably started out with CRA. A CRA was a requirement for banks to reinvest into the community. And to get them to reinvest in the community, we needed a tool that was going to help mitigate some of that risk. In doing that, we think education helped us do that. And that's been the key for us. Like I think I said it earlier, educating that potential borrower is going to help fuel them over any possibilities that they have at investing in that person. You know, when you buy a home, it's a long-term relationship.
That's true.
So we think if they're educated, they're going to be a better borrower.
What are some of the issues that you've seen that have arisen in the Peoria area based on home ownership?
One of the main things is safe, affordable housing, no matter in what area of town that you're buying in. You know, a lot of efforts are being geared towards some of the South End, but in terms of different programs that are becoming available for homeowners. However, the main thing is affordable, decent housing that no matter an individual's income, they can afford and they can be proud to be a homeowner.
Okay. Also, could you tell us a little bit about the financial education part of the home ownership piece that you have? What are the things that you're doing to help people become more financial and educated about their purchases?
Well, before they even buy a home, one of the things that we believe that's going to have a good relationship with a bank is to have a relationship with a bank. And we think before you even think about having a relationship, you need to have some place that you can actually cash your check, some place that you can actually do your regular banking. And we have a program called Financial Management, or we call it Budget Boot Camp, or Fresh Start.
Okay.
And the purpose of that is, you know, if I have that banking relationship, that bank is more likely to look at me and give me a loan. And having that relationship as a checking account, that's the start. We have a class that meets once a month that if you are in this system called check systems, and as long as it's not fraud or anything, we have a relationship with PNC, and we have a couple other banks that if you take this class, and it is a 3-hour class, that walks you through the financial education, walks you through credit, walks you through budgeting, that you can now open up an account. Okay. So that whole program is geared to give them a fresh start. Once you get a fresh start, now let's look at buying that home.
Okay.
All of those pieces. You know, we have an 8-hour class. We would do this class once a month. I think I mentioned earlier. We have this 8-hour class that we do online that is going to walk them through the steps of, do I really want to own a home? You know, there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages to owning a home.
Correct.
And then it's going to walk them through the steps of working with a realtor. You know, what do I want in the house? Am I looking at the houses that I want to see, or is that realtor showing me what they want me to see? And then there's a piece on there working with a lender. What's involved with getting the loan? Why is the lender asking me for all of this information?
Documentation.
Yes,
Exactly.
all this documentation. So those are some critical pieces that we think people need to learn before you even think about buying a house.
Okay, now you talked about a little bit earlier about budget boot camp, and a lot of people get a little nervous when they start hearing about the word, even the word budget.
Correct.
And then you throw in the word boot camp. So could you just elaborate a little bit on what is budget boot camp and how does it help?
It's pretty much, like I said, it's a class that we, you know, budget boot camp, fresh start. But we really take an honest, seriously look at your finances, what you have coming in versus what you have going out.
Gotcha.
And in the midst of that, we come to a realistic approach of some expenditures that can necessarily be deleted.
Cut the fat?
Exactly.
All right.
And then come to a realistic approach of what's your goal. The goal is to save, you know, a certain amount a month is the goal, because along with the program she's referring to, you have to have $1,000 of your own money in that.
Okay.
So a lot of individuals, that's a great step for them to give them that confidence that is achievable, is attainable. And we just take a realistic approach of your finances and give you avenues and steps to correct them. And if you follow those steps, you will come out on top.
Okay. Do you see some resistance from people? People fall back every once in a while, and you get them back on track type of thing?
You definitely do. And it's human nature.
Yes.
But again, whatever your goal is, and once you get past that barrier, you can move forward. And so it's a little rough in the beginning, but after that 5-minute icebreaker, things open up.
Okay. What are some of the things you all are doing based on community resources or getting the word out about what services you offer?
One of our biggest marketing piece is word of mouth.
Okay.
You know, if you do good, then you'll tell 20 other people how well you are, and if you don't, well, we won't talk about that. But we also do a lot of outreach events.
Okay.
We've partnered with some of our partners, such as Peoria Housing Authority, where we do job fairs once a year. We've stretched or expanded our strategy to focus more on being a resource center. Again, we've partnered with PHA and opened up a resource center, which is our new location on Krause Street.
You can give that address. Go ahead.
It's 2605 West Krause.
All right.
It formerly the library next to the new Harrison School.
Okay.
We also do outreach events that focus on foreclosure prevention. We've got a big one coming up in September, Mortgage Awareness Week.
September
the 18th through the 22nd.
Okay.
Got some great workshops that are coming out that week. We've partnered with the Illinois Department of Financial Education and IDA to do, again, foreclosure workshops. We've got one coming up August the 30th. That Mortgage Awareness Week will be a fantastic week where people can learn how to do some home repairs, fix their toilets, change the locks on doors, maybe patch some drywall holes. It will also be a great week. We will have PNC and Bank of America there, so if you are having some issues with making your mortgage payment, come out and speak to your lender. So it's those type of outreach events that we've partnered with other agencies, and especially PCCEO, that is making us successful. And we're finding to be successful, collaboration is key.
That is true. Are there some follow-up things that you all do with the new homeowners or people who are going through the process after they've gotten into that home to kind of see where they are?
We have what we call post-purchase counseling. Those workshops, such as how do you repair your toilets, those are for the new homeowners. Post-purchase also includes some budgeting. When you get in that house, you feel like you have to fill up every room.
Yeah.
And the budget may not be ready for that.
Exactly.
So, we have those types of counseling. So we do have hands-on where we try to keep in contact. And we remind them, if you need something, we're here for you.
Okay. Another unique thing that I believe you offer, it's based on taxes, income taxes. And I know that's one big thing that we use in our communities to purchase a lot of different things. And I understand you do some very unique things in regards to income taxes. Could you talk about that a little bit?
This 2012 was the second year that we offered a VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. We prepare taxes for free. We have certified tax
You might want to repeat that again.
Okay. We prepare taxes for free.
All right, just want to make sure we get that out.
$50,000 or less,
okay,
we prepare them for free. The taxes are prepared by certified tax preparers, and they're certified through the IRS, offer very good service. And again, if you make $50,000 or less, you bring your information in, and they'll do them for free on site, and they will electronically file them.
Okay.
And one of the other, we had 2 lenders on site. So if you need to open up an account to have it electronically filed, they are on site to take care of it for you.
Okay. And also, one thing that I thought about in regards to the tax piece is that since a lot of our families just use their income taxes for that, having the lenders on site, are a lot of people more willing to open some of those accounts and things like that?
Some of them are. We saw that there's probably, of the taxes that were prepared, about 20% did not get or have their taxes electronically filed. But we're hoping that we can reduce that number and have more people have it electronically filed. I mean, why take advantage of it? You're right. You know, I don't know what it costs. Probably on average of $300 to get your taxes. So, you know,
I can tell you. I'm sorry.
Okay. So if we want, you know, $300. You've waited 12 months to get your money. Wait another 60 days, and it won't even be 60 days. A lot of times they're getting in about 45 days.
Okay.
Wait 45 days and get all your money.
So
And
that
to-
rapid refund to eliminate that possibility.
You know, we hope that the Vita Center will help eliminate some of those rapid refunds.
Good.
That you know, we want you to keep all your money. Again, our mission is to provide the tools and resources that's going to improve you financially. Keep all that money in your pocket. It's yours. You work for it. Keep it in your pocket. You can do a lot more with it.
Wow, you probably are going to have the phones ringing off the hook
I
in
hope
terms
so.
of that part. When do you start that part of the process?
We will start it in January.
Okay.
And what we've got, if we have 2 employers, or we would like for the employers to call us, we're going to do 2 things differently in 2013. We're going to go to the site of 2 employers and actually prepare the taxes on site for their staff. So if there's an employer out there that might be interested in that service, I'd like for you to give us a call.
And give them that number?
And give them that number. That's 309-676-3832.
All right. Are there some things that you all also offer based on emergencies for homes? Just say that a lot of people don't understand that they need to save for. So, you know, different emergencies do happen. Do you offer anything that can help in regard to?
We're not there yet. I wish that we were. A program, and I'm getting ahead of the gun on announcing this, so don't call me yet. But
Don't
one
call
of the but one of the programs that we are going to be offering is a home modification and repair.
Okay.
That program is geared toward individuals who are disabled or who are senior citizens, and they need some type of modification done to the home that will keep them in the home and out of a nursing home.
Okay.
So if they need something as simple as a ramp, or maybe putting some bars in a bathroom, we'll be able to do that.
Wow. Like she said, don't call yet.
But don't
that
call
is-
yet.
That is a fantastic
Yeah.
program.
But we do have like a resource list available for different, whether it's job placement, whether it's medical, whether it's, we keep a resource list on handy for individuals, because it's, when you're having housing problems, more than likely you're having
other problems
as well.
I understand. I'm glad you're looking at the entire picture. Is there anything else that you all wanted to cover? Have we touched on everything?
I think we touched on pretty much
everything.
Everything?
Yeah, I think
Thank
we
you.
did. I thank you for having us.
I really want to thank you all for coming. You're more than welcome to come back anytime. We want to know about the new developments that are happening.
Well, it just dawned on me, partnering with PCCEO and PHA and having a resource center, we now have a computer lab. So we need to make sure that individuals take advantage of that resource in the community. There's a computer lab for people to come out, prepare their resumes. We also, I did forget this, and I'm sorry, thank you. We have an employment counseling program. Where if anyone needs a resume written, or if they need some job research, or we have referrals. We have a ton of jobs that come to us. So contact our office for that, and maybe come check out the computer lab.
And you see, those are some very important things that people are always looking for: jobs, homes, that type of thing. So sound like you all are a great community resource, so make sure that you all utilize the METEC. Oh gosh, I really want to thank you all for coming on.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome to come back anytime. We want to find out about the new things that are happening. Thank you for coming. Stay tuned to Captions. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Peoria has recorded at 16 homicides.
We work hard down there.
Homicide numbers are way too high.
I got ran down.
Single gunshot wound to the head.
No more violence in the city. We live here. The children have a right to play in the streets. Okay, it's over. This isn't going to be tolerated anymore. We're not going to put up with it.
Welcome back to Captions. And again, we're talking about home improvement. Not the type of home improvement that you're thinking about. We actually have a very special guest here with us, Ms. Brenda Coates, Executive Director of the Peoria Housing Authority. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. You're a longtime favorite here at the show, and a lot of different things are happening in PHA, and we really want to thank you for taking your time and effort to come and talk to us. So for those people who don't know all the different things that you bring to the table, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, sure. Again, I'm Brenda Coates, and I'm currently the Chief Executive Officer for the Peoria Housing Authority. I've been with the Housing Authority a total of 24 years. I worked for the Housing Authority from actually when I first relocated to Peoria. It was my first job, 1983 through middle of 1989.
She started really young.
Yes, that's right. Left there. I left for about maybe 5.5 years, and then came back in 1994 as a finance director. Was in that job 3 years, promoted to deputy director in that position for 9 years, and upon the retirement of Roger John, who was our executive director, the board appointed me to this position in 2006.
Okay, so you've seen PHA go through a variety of different changes, correct?
Yes, yes, I have.
Some good, some bad, and you've been at the helm of a lot of that, correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, let's talk about the overall mission of the Peoria Housing Authority. What is the overall mission of PHA?
Well, as you know, we own, operate, and manage public housing and the Section 8 program, and our mission is to provide housing opportunities, but more importantly, we offer family self-sufficiency programs to improve quality of life for our residents.
And could you elaborate a little bit about family self-sufficiency? What is that?
Family self-sufficiency, we have a program for public housing, also a program for Section 8, and the whole program is designed to help you set goals, figure out, okay, what exactly it is you want to do with your life, where do you want to go, where do you see yourself in 5 years. Housing, was never intended to be permanent. It was intended to be a transition period, a way to help you in time of need, but to be able to help you to step up and step out. So our family self-sufficiency coordinators will work with you to write a plan to help you reach your goals. Now, in addition to writing goals, there's also an escrow program that is tied to, that's money,
yes,
tied to the FSS
again?
Program. So as you, for example, you're working, as you get an increase maybe on your job, the difference, that increase, the difference then is calculated and goes into an escrow account for you. So once you graduate from the program and you've met your goals, that escrow money becomes yours, and that's what makes this a valuable program. We've had residents who have been issued escrow checks, for as much as $10,000.
Wow!
And that's money that you can use at your own discretion to buy a home, a down payment, a new car, further your education, where you can really then begin to even move further in achieving your goals.
So is that particular program available to all residents of PHA?
The programs are available to all public housing and Section 8. Now, we do have a limit. The caseload for Section 8 might be around 75, and we can probably take up to 70 in public housing. So while we can't service everyone, as individuals graduate, then that opens up spots for additional residents that can come onto the program.
Okay. And many of us who are from the Peoria area, we've been driving around, and if you've been on the south side of Peoria, you've had the opportunity to drive by the Harrison homes, and you see a lot of great things that are happening down there. Could you talk a little bit about what's going on in regards to the Harrison? Sure.
Let me say first that at one time, Harrison Homes had about 1,000 units, if you could imagine.
Yes.
We have demolished about 75% of those housing units, and so we are down now to 150 of the old barrack-style units that were originally built in the 1940s.
Wow.
So we've come a long way in the last 6 or 7 years. We sold 22 acres of our land to the Peoria Public School District 150
Okay.
back in 2008, 9, and so on property that was originally PHA property, the new Community Learning Center for Harrison
Okay.
sits there, along with one remaining building that is now the Harrison Resource Center. So as far as development goes, we have already developed 42 new units of housing, and they look wonderful. If you haven't been through Harrison in a while, I would encourage anyone to ride through there, take a look. We are now working on phase 3.
Okay.
There are an additional 35 units of public housing that are going up, 2 or 3 bedrooms. Core Construction is a contractor. It's on schedule and on budget.
On
And
schedule
we're really,
and on budget.
and residents who are already living in Harrison will certainly have first priority
Okay.
to move into these new units. Now, there is some criteria for the new units.
Let's talk about that.
You have to be employed.
Okay.
You have to be employed or going to school
Gotcha.
or disabled.
Gotcha.
You must be able to get utilities in your own name. Now, that may sound like a barrier, but you're given a utility allowance, and all you have to do, and I know this sounds difficult, is to manage and conserve your utilities within that utility allowance.
Okay.
And that's something that, we're helping our residents, helping to educate them about that. You must have good rent-paying habits, and you must have good housekeeping. And part of our ARROW program, that's our Access to Resource and Referrals, helps residents to cross over those barriers.
Okay.
Because paying your own utilities, if you've never done that before, that's a barrier.
Yes.
And you may have allowed someone to use your name for their utility bill, and now you have a back bill because they didn't pay it. Well, we can step in. We can utilize our staff and case managers to help you work that out so that
Okay.
you could be ready, to live in new housing.
So you provide a full-out timeline for individuals who have had some of these hurdles to jump.
That's right.
And once they completed the things that you set in place, then they're eligible for
That's
these
correct.
particular parts
They
of the
could
program?
qualify for new housing.
And is that through the ARROW program?
Yes, it is.
All right. Does each individual resident have a worker from the ARROW program that would assist them?
Any resident, when ARROW was started a few years ago, our staff went door to door to every resident, to those who were interested, and complete an assessment. So ARROW is open to any resident. We're utilizing, again, college interns acting as case managers.
Okay.
There's an assessment done. There's follow-up once we find out exactly what are your needs. Are you trying to meet basic needs, food, shelter? Is it child care? Do you have your GED? Do you want your GED?
Gotcha.
What do you want to do? What have you thought about doing? Not maybe, okay, well, I could do this or I could do that, but what do you really want to do? And what did you think about doing when you were young and you thought, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to be X, Y, Z?
Yes.
Well, we want to help you hold on to that dream and make that dream happen.
Okay.
And once we find out what the barriers are, we can begin to hook you up to resources that can help you get from step A to B.
And are there some community partners that you wholeheartedly to?
Oh, certainly.
That help you with a lot of those things?
There's a long list of community partners. But again, if you're not familiar with who to call, where to go, we have contacts set up at various community partner organizations so that our residents can be assisted. Okay, call Silco, here's the person you need to contact.
Gotcha.
And while we may not do that for you, we don't want to handhold you, but we want to be able to give you the necessary context that you need to help you navigate the system. So it's not so difficult for you.
Okay, so if you have some residents who are interested in some of those programs, how do they get in contact with you all?
All they have to do, they can call the office where they live,
Okay.
or they can call the main office and mention ARROW, and we will get them to the right person.
Thank you. And everyone knows that, who knows me, I should say, they know that the Taft Homes is near and dear to my heart. I'm a PHA alumni, resident, or however you want to call it. My family, we were raised in one of the PHA housings, actually several, but the Taft is one that is near and dear to my heart. And it's been in the news lately. I can't say in some of the most positive lights. Some of the people that I've had the opportunity to talk to say the sense of community may be one of the things that it's lacking. What are some of the things that you're seeing that is going on with the Taft?
Well, I can say this, for starters, last year we hired a contractor, Brenda Michaels Development, and they were contracted to come in and facilitate a community needs assessment.
Okay.
And there were several meetings that were held. There was a working group for Taft. There were several meetings held with the residents, elected officials, business owners and developers, social service organizations. But what came out of the resident group meetings was that there is truly a sense of community.
Okay.
And that the individuals that live at Taft, they do care about each other. They stick together. And oftentimes there is some stereotypes because a lot of what happens in Taft homes are not the actual residents that live there. It's usually, you know, individuals that are coming from outside of Taft that are coming into the property. And the residents there, they want programs, they want improved quality of life. They want to be, to have, you know, more control over their neighborhood. And we saw that come through loud and clear with these resident meetings that we held. Now, yes, you mentioned there have been, you know, some problems at Taft. Yes, there was. In 2011, there was, you know, some firework incident that got out of control. But in 2012, there was an action plan in place.
Okay.
Through collaboration with the Peoria Police Department, City of Peoria, and us. And, you know, we were very fortunate that throughout, you know, the fireworks time frame that the police were able to manage to make sure that there wasn't anything destructive that happened. Now, certainly, you know, after the police left, you know, there was an incident that took place. Not really anything that you probably couldn't have happened in any other neighborhood in the city of Peoria.
I understand. So what is the future for the Taft location?
The future for Taft, and what we've told our residents and everyone that was a part of these working groups, is that Taft, in its current state, will not be the same in the future.
Okay.
What the future holds for Taft is unclear at this time. No decision has been made, but we know that Taft would have to be redeveloped, okay. Whether it's on the Taft site or whether it's on a different site. We are operating under asset management with the federal government, which means that we now have to look at each of our properties sort of as a separate entity. And we have to look at the rental and the expenses. We're talking about a site that was built in the 1950s. It's on a master meter, old, obsolete, difficult to maintain, higher maintenance costs. So if any new property that's developed would not be 100% public housing.
Okay.
It would be affordable housing. It could be a mix of public housing, Section 8, affordable housing, could be tax credit. It's going to become, you know, a mixed finance sort of deal with some creative, you know, financing layers of funding. So while we recognize and our board recognizes that we have a responsibility to the residents that live there no matter what happens. We have 216 units still there on site. At one time we had 350, but there are, you know, for example, say Taft was redeveloped, just say it was redeveloped in somewhere else. We would have a responsibility to relocate all of the residents that live there into other comparable housing. So our residents are our first priority, and we try to emphasize in these meetings that we don't want residents to be fearful. We want their input.
Gotcha.
We want our residents to become part of the AERO program. We need to know what you want. We need to know, are you a resident that has a desire to live out by the mall? Well, that's what we want to know from you, and we were able to get some of that information through these assessments, because that's going to help us and our board to look at, okay, what other avenues, how many individuals do we have who'd say, yeah, well, I really wouldn't mind living someplace else. You know, so we want our residents to look at it as an opportunity, not as, well, if something happens, we're just, you know, the PHA and board are just going to move residents out. That's not the case at all. We truly have the residents' interest as our first priority.